The VITA kickoff and the EITC Awareness Day to help folks who may need help doing their federal and state income taxes. We have three great guests with us and one off to the side that you don't hear from who organized this entire thing. So I'll introduce him first. It's Glenn McCabe, Vice President of Marketing Communications with the United Way of Greater Waterbury, and our special guests. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Kay Mello, United Way of Greater Waterbury, Director of Community Impact. Lisa Shappy, the Executive Director, the United Way of Naugatuck and Beacon Falls, and Nick Brundage, the VITA Program Manager for the Connecticut Association for Human Services, CAS is what we will call it moving forward. How is everybody? Hi there. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Great to have you with us. So it's a big day. It's the VITA program kickoff. And let's talk about that. It's for folks who may need help. How old is this program? Well, we've heard a lot about this for a while. It's the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program and helps folks who may need the help. What was the catalyst? How did it get started? How long has it been going on?
The VITA program is over 50 years old, and the cause has been helping out for over 20 years here in the state of Connecticut. And the impetus was really just to help folks navigate the complex system that is the American tax system.
Now, it's sponsored by the IRS, so the IRS has an active role in this, and it is CAS that manages it, right, and works with the United Way and gets volunteers and gets the word out?
Yeah, exactly. It's sponsored by the IRS. CAUSE helps out recruiting volunteers. The IRS helps train and gets all those materials out. And then obviously we couldn't do the day-to-day activities of VITA without our friends at the United Way helping us book appointments and getting the word out about the VITA program.
So today, the big kickoff for the 2024 volunteer income tax season. What is involved after today when you start getting the word out? You are looking for volunteers, looking for folks to understand that if they need the help, it is there for them. So what happens after today once we start spreading the word? How do you get volunteers? Are there people who volunteer to be a volunteer, or is there a network where you seek out specific people?
Yeah, we recruit directly from the IRS website. You can go to the cause.org and sign up to the VITA program. We're always recruiting for volunteers. It's never too late. We always need more hands on deck. But right now, we really want to make sure the working families out there in the state understand that they can get their taxes done for free. They don't have to pay anyone to spin a sign around or dress up like the Statue of Liberty. They can come to a local community organization, a library, a community college that they already are familiar with and get their taxes done for free by IRS-trained volunteers.
Nick, that was very specific, by the way. And that is a great point, too. Some folks might think about not even doing their taxes because when they think about how much they may get in return, it's not worth it. And not doing your taxes is probably not a good idea. When you do see the spinning sign in the Statue of Liberty and you go in and find out how much you may get back and how much it'll cost you for them to do it, this is a great service. Last year, prepared more than 800 returns, obtained over $1.2 million in federal refunds, and over $200,000 saved in tax preparation fees. That is a huge deal for folks who worry about every single penny. Kay, let's talk to you. Good morning.
Good morning.
United Way of Greater Waterbury, Director of Community Impact. This has a huge impact on the community. So, it's right there in the title of your position. It's you must hear from folks who are so grateful, first of all, who may never have even known it existed, and then when they sign up and get involved, when all is said and done, they must be so happy.
We certainly do. And United Way of Greater Waterbury is really a proud funder of VITA in our 10-town region. We invest in over 50 programs and initiatives each year to help our residents. Over 50,000 residents we reach with all of our programming each year to help them with their basic needs, health, housing, and food, their education, and their financial stability. And under our financial stability work is where VITA falls. So we're a proud funder to partner with CAUSE each year to bring VITA into the community. And again, like you said, the statistics are really, really amazing. It really helps folks to know that they don't have to go and pay to have their tax return done, that they can have a trained tax preparer certified through the IRS, someone trustworthy, and really get that refund. An average refund of about $1,500 a year goes a long way to help our households. Many of our households are what we consider ALICE, asset limited, income constrained, and employed. In fact, 59% of our city are ALICE households, right? So they are working really hard to meet their monthly budgets. So not having to pay for the tax return to be prepared, having an average refund of about $1,500 to help meet those basic needs throughout the rest of the year goes a really, really long way. And we're so proud to be able to support this, along with Wells Fargo Foundation, who has been very generous in our Waterbury community as well.
Now let's talk about, and let's list them, so folks who are listening know, the communities that are covered by this. If they sought the help, they would live in Waterbury and where else?
Bethlehem, Cheshire, Middlebury, Prospect, Southbury, Thomaston, Watertown, Wolcott, and Woodbury.
Beautiful. And Lisa Shappy, Executive Director of the United Way of Naugatuck and Beacon Falls. Same story in your communities, no doubt. Even though some of them aren't as urban or inner city, it doesn't matter. The need is always there.
Yes. And as Kay had mentioned, as United Ways, we basically do the same similar work in Naugatuck and Beacon Falls. And I know you mentioned their statistics regarding the VITA program, but I just wanted to give you our statistics.
Absolutely.
For Naugatuck and Beacon Falls. VITA served 189 tax returns, a total refund of $394,770, and the earned income tax credit was $41,000. And the total tax preparation fees that was saved was $56,700.
Nice.
So when you look at those numbers and you look at Naugatuck and Beacon Falls, a big impact. So a lot of those families utilizing this program were able to get that return back and not have to pay those fees. And we see the same things. We fund 27 programs, 20 partner agencies. We focus on basic needs, financial stability, and education. And this program is part of our financial stability silo, and it's fabulous. I am very grateful to Kay, who kind of introduced us to this, and it was going on long before I knew, and we made some contact. We met with the people at Cause, and now United Way is able to fund 3 sites. So we do 2 in Naugatuck and 1 in Beacon Falls.
Good point. Let's talk about where those sites are for folks who think, well, I can't get there, or, the reality of some people live on the bus line, some people, little things like that on average, maybe we don't think about. But these are pretty convenient. There are 8 sites throughout Greater Waterbury, 10, did I get that right? 10 sites in the city of Waterbury, 1 in Cheshire, 2 in Naugatuck. Is that correct?
We have 10 in Greater Waterbury, plus Lisa has 3
Terrific.
in Naugatuck and Beacon Falls.
I was thinking, it almost sounds, when I was reading this and then even just listening in the last few minutes, it seems too good to be true. Like, what's the fine print? But it's not. If this is, because I think some people are listening and think, God, that would be so terrific if I could do that with people I trust, without the spinning signs and the Statue of Liberty costume. What's the fine print? There isn't any, really. It's just, it's a great program that's been established by very reputable organizations, taken on by nonprofits who inherently know the need for things like this across the country, but especially Greater Waterbury, Beacon Falls, Naugatuck. I did want to mention, when you say IRS certified volunteers, people who have been trained, can we talk about that for a bit? So if you do sign up and you get involved, these are the people that will be helping you.
Yeah, so the IRS sets up a training process. They have tests that every volunteer goes through. So you must pass 3 tests to be a volunteer. Tests talking about privacy, making sure that we are keeping folks' data and stuff safe, and then tax law tests. Everyone at the VITA site is certified at those, and the best part of the VITA site is you get a quality review. So that means 2 people look at your tax return. 2 people go through and comb through all the fine details and make sure everything's correct. You get to ask 2 people all your questions. and ensure that everything has been filed correctly and that we are maximizing your legal refund.
Perfect. It's 7:46 here at WATR. We are talking the Greater Waterbury VITA Kickoff and EITC Awareness Day. We'll be talking about that in a second. That's the Earned Income Tax Credits. We're speaking with Kay Mello, United Way of Greater Waterbury's Director of Community Impact, Lisa Shappy, Executive Director of the United Way of Naugatuck and Beacon Falls, and Nick Brundage, the VITA Program Manager for the Connecticut Association for Human Services. Earned Income Tax Credits. There's an Awareness Day. What do we need to be aware of?
We need to be aware that working families have a credit out there that increases money in their pocket for their refund, and we need to get the word out because 20% of people that are eligible for that tax credit every year don't file. So, and that's the great part about VITA, because it's free. If you're not sure about your status or where your tax credits are, call 211, call our friends at the United Way, set up a free appointment, come in, and we can figure out your situation, whether you're on Social Security and you don't need to file, or you are eligible for that earned income credit. Let's get that money back into your pocket and then back into our local communities.
So, people are listening. They think this sounds like a great program. How do they get involved if they'd like to have their taxes taken care of or work with somebody?
Sure. First thing I'll add too is I think we didn't mention yet that the general income limit for the VITA program
Yes, thank you.
is $63,000 per year and under. Again, to reach that target population that Nick was speaking about, that could be eligible for the earned income tax credit and child care tax credits.
Documentation do you need for these appointments?
You want to make sure you have all your identifying documentation, a valid photo ID, your Social Security cards, any cards of dependents and things like that. Right on the United Way website for 211 has a great checklist that you can make sure you bring, and it's also great to bring your last year's taxes, just so if we can go through and make sure everything matches up from year to year.
And I think we did point out you can do both your federal and state taxes through this great program. Let's give the contact information again one more time for folks who would like to reach out or interested in learning more, or also people who may like to become volunteers, which, by the way, may also lead to them becoming more active with the United Way. So it's kind of this thing that builds up where if you have a retired banker or a retired person who used to do taxes, a numbers person, it might fold right into volunteering with the United Way. So, Kate, tell us about that.
Sure. Well, first I'll just say again that if you're interested in making an appointment for VITA, you can either call 211 and press option 3 and then option 6 to speak with someone directly to set up that appointment. Or you can go online to 211ct.org. On the home page, just click at the top. You'll see click here for 2024 tax help. It'll be all in red. Click there, and then the next screen you'll see another option to click to make an appointment online, and that goes statewide. You can see all of their various counties and areas, cities where you can book an appointment. For volunteers, we love to have volunteers, and it's never too late to sign up to be a volunteer. And if you'd like to do that, if that's something that interests you, you can contact myself, Kay Mello, at 203-757-9855. Or my email is kmello@unitedwaygw.org. You can also contact Nick.
Yeah, you can go to cause.org. We have our sign-up page right there. Gets all our information. I'll get your details. We'll reach out with training materials and all that. And then we love to celebrate our volunteers. We had a great volunteer celebration here in Waterbury where we get all the volunteers locally. You get to meet the folks from the other sites, see what's going on, and meet other community members that want to put a helping hand out there. So it's a great, exactly what you're saying, a great networking event for folks who want to meet folks in the community and help their working families here.
Absolutely. And cause.org is CAHS.org. Lisa Shappy, Executive Director of the United Way of Naugatuck and Beacon Falls. This is one of those projects. I mean, the United Ways do amazing work, stuff that doesn't sometimes make the radio or the newspaper. There's just constant work and constant spreading of great things through a network of volunteers and people who are civic-minded. Let's talk about that for a second, about how this is one of those things where everybody just comes together and makes it happen, and you see that year-round.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do see that year round, especially a program like this where you get the word out and you could go through your various networks to talk about the importance of it and how it helps just everyday average families, that Alice population that we're also concerned about making things work. And so especially in Naugatuck and Beacon Falls, they're small communities, so we have these networks that are set up that we can get information out on specific things that are happening. This program is one of them. Mobile food pantries, those kinds of things. You get that information out, and you're able to get to that population that don't listen to the radio or don't read the newspaper.
Right.
I think it's a great opportunity to talk about what we're doing and how people can get those services.
Absolutely. Kay, same question for you, and I feel this may fold right into some of the shout-outs you wanted to give.
Absolutely, it does, for sure. Again, shout out to our volunteers and all of the organizations that are part of the VITA Coalition that make this happen every year. And we also, to Lisa's point, this is just a great time to connect clients that are coming in for VITA to many other resources. We were really fortunate this past year to have a partnership extended with CAUSE, but also with Thomaston Savings Bank that we're able to offer free access to their uncommon account, which is a checking account which has low fees, so folks can open up these bank accounts and have a checking account open and available, so when they get their refund, they're already set up to go ahead and save a part of that refund.
Wow.
Right? So it's going beyond the concept of just VITA, but how do we really go to the next step and save some money and plan for this money that we're getting in these refunds.
Wow.
Last year we were able to open up 26 new bank accounts, and each of these clients received a $100 incentive to do that. So it's such a great program.
Wow.
We piloted that at the Waterbury Reentry Center, one of our newer sites, which is actually where we're having our kickoff at 9 a.m. today. They became a site last year for the first time, and CAUSE was there, and Thomaston Savings Bank with their Uncommon account, which really makes checking and saving accessible to so many people who have not had this opportunity to do so before, who may have been unbanked or really had struggled in the past with that. So it's that beyond VITA concept where we're bringing in more of the financial literacy and the tools to allow folks to really save that money and plan for that.
It really is great to be in tune with not just this, with helping with the tax preparation, but then to take it that next step is absolutely incredible. You did mention 9 o'clock this morning at the Greater Waterbury Reentry Welcome Center, the bottom floor of the Waterbury Opportunities Industrialization Center. That's why we call it the OIC, on Bishop Street in Waterbury. Some public officials will be with you for the VITA kickoff and the EITC Awareness Day, and then off and running.
Yes.
Yeah, it hopefully will all fall into place. Thank all three of you so much for coming in today. Glad we could help spread the word, and we will continue to help spread the word and get the word out to let people know that this is available. There is no small print. It is not complicated. It is an amazing thing that is done here, in a lot of places, but specifically United Way of Greater Waterbury and our friends at the United Way of Naugatuck and Beacon Falls. Their executive director is Lisa Shappy, the UW of Naugatuck and Beacon Falls. Kay Mello, United Way of Greater Waterbury's Director of Community Impact. And Nick Brundage, the VITA Program Manager for the Connecticut Association for Human Services, also known as CAHS, C-A-H-S. Thank you so much for being here today, and we wish you nothing but the best, and we will do our best to help spread the word and make sure people continue to be aware about this.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. 8:01 at WATR.